Hey guys, welcome to the Rebirth. My name is Shay Marriott, and this is
Jen. Hi, y'all.
We have two other guests coming on shortly, but you know, people be running late, so we're gonna go ahead and get the show started. So thank you guys for joining us. Tonight we're going to be talking about why men don't marry. Now, before I get any comments or people saying, "Look, why do women always try to speak on men?" And think that we know men. Well, we actually don't. But the little bit that we do know, we are going to speak on it.
Yes, we are.
So we're waiting for our two guests to join us. So once they pop on, I will definitely go to them so we can have some of their opinions. But in the meantime, if you have questions, make sure that you put your questions in the comment and we will definitely get to you. So Jen, why don't men marry? Now you brought this topic. She's responsible for this. She brought this topic to us.
Men don't drag me. So I actually came across this post scrolling across Facebook one day, and me and my group of friends, we tend to have these kind of conversations from time to time. And when I read it, I was just like, this is really interesting. I'd be curious to hear, another male perspective about what they think of that. Do they find any truth to, some of the statements? I mean, at some point I can read, what that post looks like, but I found it very interesting.
Okay. Well, how about we're probably going to have to reread it again because of our late guests. But let's start with the woman's perspective. Why do you think men don't marry?
So if you had asked me this probably about maybe a couple years ago, I would say that men are commitment phobes. They're just not ready to settle down, especially the ones that are my age. They want to play games.
All right, calm down.
I mean, calm down. If you had asked me this a couple years ago.
That's right. You did say a couple years ago.
That would have been my answer.
Okay.
In this day and age now, it doesn't look appealing for a man to get married or seek marriage, or it just doesn't look attractive.
Okay. In your opinion?
In my opinion.
Wait a minute. You said it doesn't look attractive for a man to get married.
When I mean attractive, I mean more so appealing. Like there's more downsides than there is benefits to getting married.
I'm trying to figure out whose side you're on.
I mean, wait, I think let's first start off.
Let's start out with the article that you saw. Let's do that.
Probably give a little bit more context. Okay, so why men don't marry? Because there's nothing in it for them. What exactly does marriage offer men today?
It's kind of brutal.
Very. Men know there's a good chance they'll lose their friends, their respect, their space, their sex life, their money, and if it all goes wrong, their family, says Helen Smith, author of Men on Strike. They don't want to enter a legal contract with someone who could effectively take half their savings, pension, and property when the honeymoon period is over. Men aren't wimping out by staying unmarried or being commitment phobes. They're being smart. Unlike women, men lose all power after they say, I do. Their masculinity dies too.
Wow. Who is that from? Is that from a man? I'm just curious.
No, actually, no.
That's from a woman.
That's from a woman, Helen Smith, PhD, author of Men on Strike.
Okay, I wanted author of Men on Strike. Helen sound like she done had some trauma.
She's been scarred. She said, no man wants to get married.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, all right. So what I did was I wrote down a couple of reasons why, through research, men wait longer to get married, right? Okay. But before I go into that, what is your opinion when it comes down to women? Why do you think we are so I want to get married. I want the ring. I want all of that, right? So
I think we grew up in a society where women are conditioned for marriage, and to become a housewife. So it's kind of ingrained in us when as children, for the most part, from the toys that we play with to the chores that we have to do to, just seeing those same kind of dynamics for the most part. And this doesn't go across every culture, every household, but for the most part, women are more prepped and encouraged to aspire for marriage, or to aspire, for the white picket fence and all of those things. So I think from that standpoint, gender roles plays a huge part. I think social media plays a huge part in making marriage seem like this. And don't get me wrong, marriage is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But I think sometimes people are kind of sold on the image, or women are sold on the image of, the big ring and belonging to someone, and so I think that social media kind of, for women, it makes it look more appealing to women than it does men. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think too, just from a child, as soon as we are, for women, as soon as we are able to, walk, pretty much, right? In our toddler years, we are being prepared to be someone's wife and mother, right? And somebody may say, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean you being prepared to be somebody's wife and mother? Well, think about it. As females, what is the first thing that we're pretty much given to play with?
Doll.
Yeah, we're given dolls, we're given baby dolls, right? And we're also taught how to hold the baby, how to care for the baby, and all of that. Meanwhile, our boys, they have their cars, and they're crashing them, and doing all the wrestling, and having fun, having a good time. Now, I'm not saying that as females we're not having a good time when we're playing with our dolls, but just think about that. We are learning how to be mothers at such a very early age, right? So we're being prepared. And I think that is the expectation that society puts on us, as well as, possibly your parents. Oh, you're going to grow up, you're going to, finish school, finish college, you're going to get married, you're going to find this Prince Charming. And unfortunately, you have a lot of women that, they had a specific age where they wanted to be married, right? And when that age tends to pass them, then they're feeling like, what's wrong with me? Why didn't I get, why no one's choosing me, And it's that can be very hard, very challenging, especially if you already have your life lined up, and then no one comes during the time that you want them to come. So that's my opinion about it.
I mean, definitely, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Like, sometimes in our mind, we had these sequential steps of what we want things to get accomplished by, especially like after college, I'm gonna have, find this man, and then we're gonna have babies, and when it doesn't happen in that way, sometimes, as you pointed out, we have a way of kind of personalizing it and kind of, going inward, but negatively. You know?
Absolutely.
And it could be difficult. And I think the interesting part too, is that celebrities also play a huge role into the dynamics that we see on social media as well, as far as like the idea of marriage. Case in point, the whole Dr. Dre situation. Did you hear about that?
Girl, no, I've been working too much. Please enlighten me.
So long story short, Dr. Dre and his wife divorced. I don't know the specifics of when they divorced, but it was a very contentious relationship. So basically, long story short, she asked to receive a lump sum of money. I want to say it's close to $900,000 per month. Yes.
$900,000 per month.
That's
for alimony,
I believe so.
Or child support. Wow.
No, like it was like the breakdown of how much she was asking for was just crazy expensive. Like, I can't remember the exact amount that like he would have to pay every year, and actually the court granted in her favor, and so basically he has to pay her monthly. I can see if I can find
That's crazy. Wow, $900,000 a month. So, I mean, now that's going to be on my list because I'm going to, you know, while we're waiting for our men to join us, Carl and Stan, I am going to actually just go over some of the reasons why men don't marry, right? I don't think it's as brutal as Dr. whoever you just read. I don't know. I think she was writing from a hurt place. Did you find the article?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was actually $300,000 a month in spousal support. So which totals $3.5 million per year.
Ooh.
Per year, y'all.
Wow.
Per year.
Wow. Yeah. That's heavy. That's very heavy. That's very heavy. I don't think it's fair. I mean, I know Dr. Dre have a lot of money, but woo, yeah, that's pretty heavy. Okay, so why men don't marry? He said one of the reasons why men don't marry is because they want to own their own house first. They want to be financially stable, right? Which I think is fair, right? I mean, I think for women, we identify our success by back then, it's changing, but we identify our success by marriage and having children and being able, to have that family. For men, I think that it's more so, and please, men, if you're watching, chime in, please. I'm watching the Facebook feed to see if there's any comments or questions. So I am paying attention. But if you're watching, definitely chime in. But for men, I think it's more so they define success through career, and being able to be providers, right, for their family. So when I found that, in this article that I read, that they want to own their own house first and be financially set. I would want you to do that too. Right. And I think sometimes, we might get a little bit anxious because we want to get down the aisle and, put on our dress and all of those things. Right. Speaking of getting older, I got a birthday coming up.
Yes, she does.
But, I think that we get so excited and anxious about, wanting to get down the aisle that we don't really pay attention to, well, maybe he's not ready because he's not financially ready to be the provider. He's not where he wants to be financially wise. So
yeah, sometimes our idea of what we want sometimes can come off, or like rushing the process. Rushing the process.
Yeah, definitely. So, number 2, social pressures to marry are not there anymore. Now, let's talk about that, because I agree they're not there anymore for men, but I think that they're still there for women.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, just kind of even thinking about like social media and the not even just like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but like even just like the commercials we watch on TV, right? And even the magazines that we see and the places that we go and how they advertise and kind of market this 2-parent household, with the wife with the ring on her finger, it's definitely kind of in your face, I think, more so for women.
Yeah, it definitely is. But why isn't it like that for men? I mean, I'm just curious.
I mean, I definitely feel like there's like a shift in priorities for men. Like one of those, as you pointed out, like wanting to kind of be financially stable. Right. First, marriage is kind of like last on the totem pole of all of those priorities.
Right. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just always, you find that unequal, balance there. So the next one is reluctant to commit, afraid marriage will require too many changes. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about that. What do you think?
So, sorry,
you got distracted.
I got distracted. I
was shooing away.
I think there's a lot of different pieces to that. Like, you know, we kind of hinted upon that when a couple of episodes ago, when we were kind of talking about the many roles that, you know, most often men play in a relationship, right? Sometimes they're chefs, sometimes they can act as a therapist. It's just so many different roles kind of juggling. And so I think part of that sounds like having to juggle those additional roles and responsibility, being a provider,
right?
Not only just for yourself, but your significant other, amongst many other different roles. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean,
afraid marriage will require too many changes. So let's keep it real.
Okay.
Let's keep it real. I think that for whatever reason, when we talk about marriage and, you know, getting married and, you know, even when, you know, when guys are joking around with the groom, you know, you hear, bro, you about to lose your freedom, right? You're going to have the ball and chain connected to you. And that's not cool. Like, why do we have to view marriage as being on lockdown? Like, or they're going into some type of prison, you know, that sets a very negative tone to the marriage. Absolutely. from the beginning.
It's almost like the implied message is you have to sacrifice your manhood,
right,
for marriage.
Right. So I don't necessarily think that it's you know, it's fair. I mean, we talk about like Black love is so popular now.
Yeah.
You know, you hear it everywhere. Black love, oh, I love Black love, Black love this, Black love that. But we have to be able to make sure that that Black love stays. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, it's not just about broadcasting or, you know, telling the world that you're in love and you found the person that you want to be with. But okay, when the doors are closed and it's just you and that person, what are you doing to sustain your marriage?
Right.
What are you doing to sustain your relationship and the love that you feel for this person? Right. So that's where the work really begins.
Yeah. And I was going to say, like, maybe that too could be part of that hesitancy, just like kind of thinking about it, how often it's not too common, right, to see a boatload of healthy marriages. Like, I think it's more common to see marriages that are unhealthy, or there's not really too many healthy ideas of marriage, you know, right on Front Street, if that makes sense. Like, and so part of like to your point, like having to do the work to learn how to maintain and not even maintain, but like help your relationship thrive, you know, even when it becomes like a marriage or turns into that. Like, that's another dynamic that I don't know if I wouldn't say just a men thing, but I don't know if that's what they're willing to kind of work on or do.
If the men was here, we would be able to ask them. But because they're running late right now, they should be joining us soon. So hopefully just keep that on the top of your dome right there. Maybe we'll be able to swing that question back around. But I do think that, you know, the changes, marriage will require too many changes. And I'm just like, where is that coming from? Like, what changes? So here's my thoughts. I know I'm a little bit all over the place. Okay. If you know that you want to be married, right? And you want to be somebody's wife, or you want to be someone's husband, right? And let's say you met that person and you think that, okay, this might be it. This might be the person that, you know, I'm supposed to be with, right? I don't understand why people think that marriage starts. Okay, let me rephrase it. Okay, marriage starts when you say I do, right? That's when you're committed to the marriage. But if you are looking to be a wife or looking to be a husband, shouldn't you be holding yourself in that manner prior to getting married? I mean, if you're not doing the things that you need to do to become that wife or to become that husband,
Mhm.
it's not going to automatically
Right. That's a good
change
point.
as soon as you say I do. It's just
Mhm.
like, would you take this? I do. Woo, I'm a
Mhm.
wife now, you know, and I have all these different powers that I didn't have before I came down the aisle, right?
Mhm.
So, you know, you get what I'm saying? You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? It's just like you have to, like,
the mindset shift
yeah,
begins before you get married or
yes,
decide to,
yes,
at least.
yeah,
For at least
yeah.
a, you know, a healthier, thriving marriage.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So my point to all of that was, it's saying being afraid that marriage will change or will have too many changes. What do you think is going to change? Is the person going to change? Are you afraid that the person is going to change?
Right.
And let's keep it real. You know, some people do.
Right. And like the follow-up question to that is, which change are you fearing the most? Like,
okay, break that down. Break that down. Break that down.
Like, I mean, when we think about, like, you know, marriage, and not even just marriage, but like entering a commitment with someone, are you fearful of the financial obligation or the change that will come with that? The anticipation of the relationship evolving in a manner that's worse, or, you know, your personality changing, or your friendship dynamic changing, family dynamic changing. Which changes are you most fearful of happening?
So let's break that down for time's sake, and the fact that we're waiting for the men to come on. Actually, Carl Smith is going to be joining us soon, guys. So just hang on in, because I cannot wait to hear his opinion on all of this. So let's talk about, you said fear that, just pick one of them that you had said.
Let's say financial.
You said personal. Wait a minute. Let's go to the personality. Let's talk about that. Okay. Because you say what you got to say, because I got a lot to say on that.
I mean, I think sometimes, not even sometimes, but there's often this kind of notion where, like, you're letting go of a piece of yourself, or men's having to let go of a piece of their self that isn't conducive to, you know, the relationship. Or, for example, like, if they have single male friends that are still kind of entertaining the same kind of things before, that their dynamics of who they hang out with and what they used to do kind of changes into a lifestyle that kind of benefits the marriage and the relationship.
Okay. All right. So this is why it's so important to make sure you date all seasons.
Facts.
Right? Make sure you date all seasons, because you need to know how a person is in all seasons. You got to make sure you're not dating a representative of that person. Like, are you, or are you the person that you think I want you to be? Right? Because child, God knows I've dated some representatives.
You dated some evil twins.
I have dated some representatives. Right? And it didn't take long for it to show. And soon as it showed, I was out.
You just pivot.
I was out. But it's so important. You got to know, like, who is showing up, like, who are you? And are you the same person in summertime? Are you the same person in fall? Are you the same person in winter, spring? Right? And it might sound funny when I say date all seasons, you know, but come on now, we're both mental health professionals. Yes. We also know that there's something called seasonal depression.
Yes, there is.
So you might be happy go lucky and you know, just doing everything, you know, in the summertime. Backflips. Yeah, that's a whole nother. I don't know about no backflips, but where you at?
I mean,
but anyway, but then when that fall season starts to come in and it starts to get a little bit colder, and you know, sometimes people go through changes, and you know, men and women, and we call this seasonal depression, right? And it's just like your mood change. So like, who are you? Who you know, who is this person? You know? So I think to avoid that, you have to know who you're dating. You have to know like the temperament of that person. Otherwise, yeah, if you're quick to jump into a marriage and you're not sure about who you're dating, you're gonna have a whole nother person. Soon as you say I do, it's gonna be a whole different
like what
personality that comes out, right? Have you ever dated someone and all of a sudden it was somebody else?
Yes,
don't leave me out there. You have.
Absolutely. I was gonna say, I think of quite a few experiences where I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, excuse my language. What the fuck is this?
Wait a minute. You said excuse my language and then said it again.
Yes. I said, what the hell is this? Satan, go away. Please move from my doorstep. Like,
so how did the person present themselves initially?
I think, from initially just genuine, same interests, appeared honest, sweet, gentle, and then it was like a complete 360. I felt like I was on the Maury show.
So then what had happened was
the person who I thought this individual was not.
Wow.
Was not. And it was a very chaotic situation, his life, to say the least. But,
okay. Did you initially think that this might be the one? Like this might be a dude?
Hell no.
Oh, so you know.
Wait, no, I did not know, but
she knew.
No, I promise y'all, I did not know that this person was like what they were, but it wasn't like a love at first sight kind of thing. It wasn't like, that's gonna be my man. It wasn't.
Okay.
I was like, okay, this potential.
But we don't fall in love with potential. You know better.
I know.
We don't fall in love with potential. So you got what you deserved on that one.
Wait. He was.
Oh, you felt you was going for the physical. He was fine. Wait. He was fine. Wait a minute. You have flashbacks.
I'm traumatized. Y'all.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah. So no. You know better. We're gonna have a talk after this. But you knew he wasn't the one. You knew he wasn't the one, but yet you still pursued it.
I think too, part of that is like a bit of comfort. Like, I think for my millennials out there, I think sometimes.
Whoa! Yeah. I know you're not throwing shade.
Wait, I'm not throwing shade.
I know you're not throwing shade.
I'm not throwing shade.
I'm proud. I'm going to be chapter 49.
Okay, you don't look it. You don't look it. But
for my millennials, you know what?
You know what I mean? Sometimes for women, there's more like this, again, social pressure to kind of like, time is ticking. You need to find somebody, and just like sometimes there's often this fear that accompanies that, like there's no one better out there, or this is the best that it's gonna get. Sometimes that is the fear.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
I get that. I hear that a lot too. Where does that thinking come from? Why do you assume that this may be the best that I can get? Because if you're saying that, right, then on the other side of that, that means you're basically saying I'm settling, right? I'm settling. So if this is the best that I could get, then I'm settling.
That's the narrative we're telling
So
ourselves.
if you're settling, then how are you going to show up in a marriage?
Ooh, speak on it.
That part. How are you going to show up in a marriage if you already feel like you're settling, right? And then to take that even further, if you feel like you're settling for someone and you end up marrying this person, what type of respect will you have for him? Right. Because if I feel like I'm settling, then how can I may not respect you the way that I should in a relationship. So, shout out to Levante. Yes. Levante, what's up, baby? She said, boys don't marry, men do. There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But yeah, I want you to answer that question. Yeah, the pressure's on.
Ooh, oh my God. So
Where was that coming from?
so I think again it's often difficult, right, to kind of find people that are on the same wavelength as far as like kind of wanting the same intention, especially around your age group, right? And so typically, or I found that most men around our age are still in the phase where they kind of just want to date, and they're far removed from the idea of marriage. Like they kind of want to just, go out and about and kind of do their own thing. So it's like, you're getting older, your health is changing, and like kind of social pressures from parents, families, when you're gonna have that grandchild, so it kind of feels like it's a lot. It's a lot. So it's just like kind of juggling those different dynamics. Like, damn, it's tough. It could be tough.
I'm gonna say one thing. The one thing I can truly say, my mother, my mom did not put the pressure on me about getting married and when are you going to, she didn't. I don't recall any of that. I really don't. Knowing my mom, she probably didn't even want me to get married because my mom liked me to herself, and love you, Mom. I know you're probably watching, but love you. My mom, although she of course she supported my marriage when I was married, but I don't recall her, like ever giving me that talk of, you gotta, I can't wait for you to get married. I can't wait. Like, she didn't. Why you didn't do that, Mom? Now I'm thinking about it. Like, why you ain't do that? I know you watching, so put it in the comments. Why didn't you do that? Look, I think I know the answer. I think you wanted me all to yourself. So yeah. So that is a lot of pressure, and I get it. That is a lot of pressure also from social media.
Yes.
Right. But at the same time, you see a lot of people single on social media, and you do see the Black love, the Black love on social media. So is it still a lot of pressure? Well, we know it's not for the men, right? Because they're waiting, but is it still a lot of pressure when it comes down to females? Because y'all millennials are gangster. When I tell you, listen.
Come on, my millennials, comment down below, gang.
And whatever did you just say, gang?
Y'all know the vibes. Yeah. Like literally.
Oh, wait, I'm still trying to get past the gang.
Wait. For all of my Haitian, if any Haitian viewers, okay, Haitian flag below. But like literally, like my Haitian aunt came to visit, and she asked me, why can't I find a man? Or,
just straight out.
Yeah, literally. Why can a man marry you?
Ooh, like it's your fault.
Yes, literally. That is the question. Like, well, you're not in a relationship. Like, do you not want marriage? Like literally, these are the kind of conversations like at family events before how you doing? How's the food? Where's your man? When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have children?
That's tough.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
You ever bring a fake boyfriend to the the gathering and just just act like you my man just for the night?
Just show off a front. No, I don't even do it, because then it's a lot of invasive questions.
Wow. That's a lot of pressure.
Yes.
So is that just your aunt, or that's the Haitian? Do you think that's the Haitian?
I feel like just with my family's own trauma and kind of a lot of things going on there, but I think that definitely those are the values that my parents, my mom, my dad, my aunts, uncles, very old school traditional thought, like by this age, I should have been married already, according to the way that they were raised. Yeah. And according to the values that are most important to them. Like that should have happened like yesterday. I should be on baby number 3. Like literally.
3. That's a lot. I will be sending them right to your Haitian aunt to take care of, to babysit. So just like I thought my mother was watching, and she said, wanted you all to myself and still do. Might sound selfish, but oh well. No, she didn't hit me. No, she didn't hit with the oh well.
That part.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Okay. All right. So I get it. I get it. So number 4 was men don't marry because they are afraid of divorce. So usually you'll hear, oh, well, men don't marry because they're afraid of commitment. But it's not the commitment that they're afraid of. They're afraid of the divorce. Now, someone who has been married before and has gone through divorce, I get it. I get it. I get it.
I guess elaborate on that. Like, what piece of the divorce?
Here we go.
I'm curious. Like, what piece of the divorce are more? I mean, divorce is, there's a negative connotation to that, but like, there's so many different aspects of it. But like, what piece do you think like looks undesirable for men? Again, I know that it's a negative connotation. The whole piece probably is unappealing, but which part of it do you think is unappealing? That's a word.
So I think when it comes down to men, and again, I hate that I feel like I'm speaking for men, and I'm not doing that. Yes. Praise the Lord. We got Carl Smith coming in. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. As soon as I said that, look, see how God worked. He was just like, you're not speaking for men. We're going to bless you with a man. Boom. He's coming in. Give us a second. But yeah, so we're going to have to like back this up because I really want to dive in and get their opinion. What's up, Mr. Smith?
Hello. What's up, Jen?
Finally, how are you?
I'm
we
good.
Are Facebook Live. Say hello to Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. What's happening? How the hell are you?
Oh man, thank you for joining us, Carl. Because you know, I see you. I see you. It's okay. It's okay. We was trying to, like answer all these questions, but we're women, right? And the one thing I don't want to do is come on and act like I know what men think, because I don't. I don't. I can assume and all of that. But of course, the topic is why men don't marry. Now, you are a married man, right? Yes. This is when you say yes.
Yeah, I say yes.
And Carl, how long have you been married?
This year will be 17 years.
Woo, congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, for sure. So I want Jen asked me a question, right? And the last thing that we were talking about was men don't marry because a lot of people say, oh, because of commitment. They're afraid of commitment. But I was like, it's not commitment that they necessarily are afraid of all the time. Sometimes it's the fact that they're afraid of divorce. And I was explaining to her that being someone that was married and going through divorce, I get that now. Like when somebody said, well, I'm afraid of divorce, like I get that because I've experienced divorce. I know what that feels like and what happens with it. So I get that. If a man says, I'm just afraid of divorce, like I'd be like, bruh, me too. Like me too. I get it. I get it. I understand. So I just want to hear from you why don't men marry, in your opinion?
Oh, as usual, I'll start with a disclaimer. No, that's not like that. I ain't start wilding out yet. Disclaimer, obviously, I'm not speaking for all men. I'm just speaking for myself and my friends. But you kind of hit the nail on the head. A lot of them are like, they're afraid of divorce. Like, we think back to Eddie Murphy, half your shit is gone. Like,
right.
It's always like, you sure you want to do that? It's like you get married, you're afraid of getting divorced, no fun. It's just like you get married, you start referring, the old term, tire term, ball and chain.
We was just talking about that.
Yeah, you won't see your friends no more. You won't. And the funny thing, I have friends where I don't see them anymore.
Right. Vanilla chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got friends I don't see anymore. So, but my thing is like, it's kind of what you make it. If you go in, well, right now we're just talking about the fear. So pretty much what I said, divorce, ball and chain. If I work to build up this, I get married. If everything goes south, my shit goes out the window. If we have kids, now I'm the weekend dad, or it's visitation. I see the kids. Everybody looks at a lot of the negatives, and it's of course there's a lot of positives, but it's also negatives too. It's just you got to bounce it out and work through it the best you can, pretty much.
I guess I'm wondering, like, why does it have to be negatives though, right? I mean, like for instance, we were just talking about, I just mentioned the ball and chain. You got some people giving you a shout out. Shannon, which that's my boo. He said, he was like, yo, bro, what's going on?
What up, Shan?
And
hey, Shan, don't get yourself in trouble.
I bet I get myself in trouble.
Mine off camera, like.
Right, like, well, right? She got that gun right there.
She right off camera.
And Levante said, hey, family.
What's going on?
So,
drinks on deck.
Right. So, Carl, we was
Yep.
just talking about the ball and chain, right? And I was just saying to her, I said, why does it have to be such a negative like statement? Like when you have a friend that's great, especially when it comes down to a man that's great to get married and all of that, and then we were like, all right, man, you ready to go to, like, your freedom is gone, ball and chain, stuff like that. And that kind of messes with you mentally. Like, really? Like, is it like that? Like, I'm really gonna be like locked up? But the ones that are locked up, that's not true, Carl. Because you're not.
What?
The ones that are locked up, maybe they locked up because they didn't respect their freedom.
Oh yeah, some cats do off. Some cats have gone off the deep end, and then you put yourself on lockdown. Some dudes have not, that I know, and are still kind of like, they come out once in a blue moon. I'm obviously not naming anybody, but we'll talk off camera. But some cats, but as far as the whole negative connotation with ball and chain, all that stuff, you think about it, especially with dudes. But your whole life, you look at TV shows where I'm old, so you looked at Married with Children, stuff like that. You've heard that. I've heard that term my whole life, ball and chain. And then when you get married, you see whoever your male figures in your life are, parents, uncles, friends, siblings, and they get married. You look at them, and then to me, that kind of builds a framework or a point of reference. If you see them and they're chilling, you might have a more positive view. But a lot of people see a lot of divorces, arguments all the time, beef, stuff beyond that, and stuff may get physical. Why am I going to put myself through that? And I'm seeing all this. A lot of people I know, family and otherwise, when I was growing up, I was like, nobody seemed happy. Like everyone just seems frustrated. It seems like they have good times, but it seemed like a lot of times the bad times outweigh the good. Or at least what I saw was, most of the time was arguing, all kinds of stuff, people stepping out here and there. Why the hell I want to do that? Then what's the point? And when you get older, you already got that, you got a 20, 30 years of that built into your head already. And when you meet that special girl, or vice versa, you may be like, I love such and such and all, but I don't know if I want to take that step, because it seems the minute they put that ring on their finger, shit just goes south.
Wow. That's deep.
It is.
That's deep. Dude,
I didn't even start drinking yet.
I know, right? So we were talking about, I know you have a question because I heard you. I heard you kind of like try to spit it out. So we were talking about how we were saying, as women, as females, we and since we were being able to walk, we've pretty much been like conditioned to learn how to be wives and mothers, right? Just by simply by putting a baby doll in our arms and us playing while y'all over there in the corner crashing trucks and stuff and cars together, right?
Like bang, bang, bang.
Right. So the expectation for females, was that you go to school, graduate, go to college, graduate, find Prince Charming, get married, have a baby, boom, right? I don't necessarily, I'm assuming in my mind, I don't think it works like that for y'all. But right, so kind of take me to what that looks like for men. Like, I know you can't speak on all men, but like, like Jen just talked about, she's Haitian. So she was just talking about how in her culture, when she goes for family dinners, she has she has an aunt that's just be like, why you don't have no man? Basically.
You say you Haitian?
Yes.
Oh, Trinidad.
So you know the vibes. You know the vibes.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that.
Well, no, I mean, like there's what's the thing? The wedding day is all about the bride. Like if you ask any dude we don't give a damn about tell me when to show up and where I gotta be. Like all of the, the flowers and all that shit and oh my God. We don't give a damn about none of that shit. Just point us where to show up and we show up. I don't know any dude, obviously know a lot of dudes. No, there's nobody that grows up like, my wedding day is gonna be spectacular. It's just you meet somebody, she's just as jacked up as you are. Your boys will be like, hey man, you better let this one. Your boys will be like, don't let this one get away. Everyone's got the baggage. Find somebody
got baggage.
Baggage is similar and both. How much can I cuss?
So go ahead, go on.
I know I've been saying shit, but I'm trying to cut down. I ain't say the F word yet, so I'm trying to chill on the F bombs. But try and find somebody. Eddie Murphy put it in one of his jokes. Find somebody just as effed up as you and try and make it work from there. But you don't grow up saying, well, you meet somebody, she's cool. When you get to the point where you're like, you know what? I kind of can't picture doing shit without her, or I think I'm falling in love with her because when something good happens, I want to call her, then I'll call my boys, or at least, or you want to do stuff with her all the time. She's on your mind all the time, but it's not when you're 5 years old, 10, 15, you want to be in the NFL, you want to be in the NBA, you want to be a movie star, you want to be a rapper, you want to do something. You don't grow up with wanting to be married.
Right. Yeah. And I'm just sitting here as a parent and I'm just thinking about my boys, and their age. Right. And now I'll tell them what not to marry. We do have that conversation. But I think right now, like my conversation with them is more, oh, this is crazy, because I just literally just said how men tend to define their success and it's by their careers and being able to be providers. So I'm thinking, and I do think that, my conversation with them is just like making sure that they are stable and, career and all of that they are, honorable young men, But I do say time to time, like we will have conversation about family, and if, like my oldest son, he don't want to have kids because he don't want to do homework. Ain't that something? I was just like, right, what exactly? Because he know how we sit down with him and his homework. He was like, oh, I don't want to do this. And I'm like, why? He was like, because I don't want to have to do their homework.
Yep. I was anti-marriage, anti-kid. I was anti all that shit.
So how did that change?
You can ask anybody that knew me from day one. Oh no, Carl was the biggest. Like when they found out, they was all like, well, they kind of knew once but before that, knew. Because I was that dude looking back at everybody like, they argue all the time. They cheating. They had a fight 2 weeks ago. That boy left for a week. I was like, nope, I'm good. Them MFers are crazy. I ain't getting married.
For doing it.
Now, 17 years later, I'm like, 17 years later,
Yeah.
we still look at each other like, how the hell we pull this off?
How did that mindset change for you?
What I said a couple minutes ago, when it was like, you meet someone and you start hanging out and they're cool as shit and you start doing stuff and it's like, everybody you've dated up to this point hasn't quite been like that, you know, and the vibe was right. Everything just seemed to click. We just got along. She had her own thing going on. She had her own job. She had her own car. Like everything was just, it wasn't, I don't want to say it's almost unexplainable, but if you've been in love, then
Go ahead.
like you see yourself, you know, years went by and we didn't get on each other's nerves. We know we didn't have a knockdown. We never had it. We still have not had a knockdown, drag out argument. Like, bitch, I killed you. And that's never happened. Nothing like that. There's never been a yet. You know, we haven't sat around now we piss each other the hell off. Be under no illusion. So it'll be nice when, you know, we'll still be looking at each other like. But we haven't had that scream, argue. We've had plenty of tough times. We've had more good times, but it was just, it was kind of just like we grew together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I could put it. We grew together and shit just kind of flowed together. So, and you know, I brought her to meet my peoples.
And TGI Fridays. I'll never forget. Yep.
And she was cool. She's cool.
She is mad cool. She's mad
cool.
We have our
She's
little
not, it ain't that. I can still be like, I'm going like, if I turn around to her right now and said, hey, I'm going out tonight with the boys, or I'm going to the club, I'm going wherever, she's gonna be like, but shit, she went out last night. I dropped her ass off. I'm Uber. Have a good time. I'm out. Yeah. It's because that's one of the things that leads to destruction of relationships when someone's all clingy all the time. If they don't have a life and they trying to stop you from doing anything, you're gonna resent them like hell.
Wow.
That shit is whack. You can't be that shit is you gotta have a life outside of each other, otherwise that shit ain't gonna work.
Right. Absolutely. That's good right there. And I think too, that's why you start to hear the ball and chain and, you know, not having the freedom or whatever, because at the end of the day, no matter who you with, you're still individuals and you still got to be,
definitely. You
have to be the person that the person fell in love with. Like, why would you want me? This is who you fell in love with. Why would you want me to now change? Right. So, you know, does that start to now look like control?
Yeah, you just triggered something. False advertising. False advertising. My wife just said dating a representative. You know, everyone's on the best behavior, and as soon as you get married, nigga, where the hell you going? Like, you know, oh no, you ain't going nowhere. You staying right up in this damn house with me.
Right.
And that's when shit starts going left. Like, wait a minute, this ain't the person. When we were dating before all this happened, before we got married,
right?
I had my friends. We hung out together. We hung out separately. We did shit as a unit. We did shit separately. You can't get married and then just throw the switch like, aha, gotcha, nigga. And it won't work. That's another thing. That's cracks in the foundation starting to build.
Yeah, we literally, and that's confirmation, because before you came on, we were just having that conversation about being, you know, false representative. And I was, you know, telling Jen and of course to our listeners, it's important to date someone through all seasons, you know, you know what it is, you know what you're getting, because eventually the real person gonna jump out.
That shit ain't gonna stay buried forever.
It ain't gonna stay buried. The real is gonna jump out. So you know, it's just important. I don't know, man. Go ahead.
Not to cut you off, I'm sorry. On that tip what you were just talking about, what's your views on, I'm gonna ask y'all a question, what's your views on moving in together? I'm a big fan of it. I think you should move in. That way, like you said, you get to know the representative and then you get to know what's under the crust, so to speak. So if you living together for, you know, nothing can simulate living together. Because that's when dishes in the sink, toilet seat up, who left the toothpaste, The toilet
Yeah.
paper, is it over or is it under? All this shit comes out.
The annoying stuff.
That was all on your checklist, wasn't it?
And after a year of that, you be looking at that person like, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna live with this mother.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah,
what's y'all opinion about it?
you're right on that. Okay, so I personally have to say that I do agree because that's, I mean, I was engaged,
Mm-hmm.
but I lived with my ex-husband a year before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
So he put a ring on it first.
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify, he put a ring on it first, but then we
My fiance, my fiance.
but then we lived together for a year as we were planning a wedding for a year. And I can honestly say that what I saw in us living together, good or bad, is what I saw when we got married. So I knew what I was signing up for. I knew what I was signing up for, right? And I think that, like you said, everybody has baggage, and it's like, well, what baggage are you willing to help, carry with a person, So that's the thing. What about you?
Yes,
what is your thoughts?
I agree with that as well. I think it gives you an idea of who this person is beyond just like the dating and whatnot. Like living with someone is completely different. But again, I come from a culture where that's completely taboo. You guys live together and you're not married, you don't have no kids. That is taboo. What? My mom, I think she would roll over. What? Yeah. So yes, I definitely think it's important in being able to kind of cultivate your relationship and see if this is something, the direction you want to go. But my Haitian culture, that would bring shame to my family.
Would you do
it? Yeah, I mean, I got
I would.
It was
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I did it.
Yeah, I kind of like whispered that, but forgot we were live. I'm like having a personal conversation.
Yeah, I would do it, but it would be definitely challenging to navigate. I definitely would say, just knowing that, like, even I've had the experience of knowing of families, right, that have shamed their kids or outcasted their kids for moving in, not having married first.
Yeah.
That's that old school way of thinking that kind of needs to like y'all did y'all things your way, but I know y'all marital history, you can look at all parents, aunts, uncles, and all that stuff. Y'all should have lived together. Looking at my damn family, y'all should have lived together first.
You had a question.
Yes.
I want you to be able to get your question out.
So we were kind of talking about, like, not just men, but both people, when they enter a marriage, they experience a lot of different changes. And my question is, like, what changes do you think men fear the most in entering marriage?
Pretty much we were talking about in the beginning, kind of divorce. Losing your identity, losing your friends, maybe just losing, I should say, it's kind of a broad term, but just losing shit, your friends, your freedom. And I'll keep it funky, ass. That's probably the biggest one. Ass.
I didn't even think about that piece. Oh.
Ass.
Okay.
Well, that goes both ways.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'll say ass, and that's universal.
Wow. He said, I'm funky.
He said,
if he wouldn't have said it, if Eli was here, Eli would have said it.
My man Eli would have said it. He'd be like, ass. It's sex, right? This is it. This is supposed to be the last dick I ever see. This is supposed to be the last cookie box I see. This is it. This is it.
No, I got a question. Wait a minute. Because I gotta calm you down.
Look.
I don't even know what the question was. Oh my gosh. Oh. So is this why you see a lot of men at the when they get ready to get married, they at the altar and they just be crying?
Mhm. Yeah.
I ain't getting no more ass no more after this.
Crying.
This is it. This is it.
And of course, you know, we're thinking that there's, oh my God, he must think I'm so beautiful.
Yeah, y'all thinking this emotion. Yeah, I love this nigga so much. Oh my God. He love me and he crying. Nope.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
fear.
It's too funny. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you keep it real for sure. You keep it real.
Mhm.
You got any more questions for us, Carl?
I'm probably gonna think of 30 in like 10 minutes, but right now, none is springing. Y'all have to say something. Hold on, what's that?
Uh-oh, wifey chiming in.
Yeah. What about him?
Why is so scared of him?
Why is you so scared of him?
Why would I?
My what?
No,
Uh-oh, come on, D. Come on, Delana.
no,
Like that.
no,
Why your hair's dead?
I know. No.
Just tell her to say the question. She don't have to show her face.
Okay,
Just
so why women think it is a bad thing
Hey, baby girl.
for men to go to the strip clubs?
Why do women think it's a bad thing for men to go to the strip clubs? That's a good question. It really is. Jen?
Oh,
So my opinion,
why are you covering up your top? She's like, oh my
yeah,
God.
because I feel so exposed.
she's clutching her
I'm
pearls.
clutching my pearl. I personally don't think it's a bad thing.
Since you're the millennium, I'll
You
let
know what I
you.
mean? I mean, but I think that I don't know.
Would you want your man to go to the strip club?
With me,
This topic going a whole different. Look.
bands will make good dance.
Look, and they are crispy ones too. He's so silly.
Yeah. How did you born?
Look,
Got visual aid.
I don't have an issue with it. And I jokingly say if he comes with me, but I don't know if it's tied to kind of an insecurity thing. Well, why do you need to go see some ass if you got me right here? I mean, I can strip for you for free every night. You know what I mean? I think that may be the mindset that some women may have. Like, why do you need to go anywhere else but here?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Ooh, what do I think? Okay, so I think that for some people, it is an insecurity issue. It is an insecurity problem. I think for some people, it's more of it could be, rather it's a religious thing or how they were brought up, right? So like strip clubs, porn, all of that is the devil stuff, right? So or forbidden, or
All the fun stuff.
if you're into all of those things, then so I do think that part of that could be based off what the person believed religiously wise. Some insecurity could be, but then from what I understand, it's more women in the strip clubs than it is men. So
yeah, now
I think the strip clubs they have taken a turn now. I'm trying not to, I don't want to get too personal, but that was an issue. Not for me. And Carl, that wasn't an issue for me. The issue was that it was being lied about. So I think that it shouldn't be a problem. If you want to go, then just be truthful and say, I'm going. Don't make up a lie about it. And then the person finds out later, because now it feels like you're being sneaky. Right. So if that's what you're into and that's what it is, because I asked when I was dating, I would ask, like, what are you into? Just very transparent, right? So do you like strip clubs? Do you do this? Do you do that? Like, I want to know because I need to know what I can accept and what I can't accept, right? So don't say no to all of these things. And then later on, I noticed you just got change for $100 bill in all ones. Like, what's going on? Where you going? Where you going with that?
Where we going?
So, I just think that you got to be very transparent about those things. Have that conversation. So that's my opinion. I don't know did I answer that?
Yeah, I'm laughing because I'm like, he wasn't with me.
Right.
$100.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
You know, so then it becomes, and I think that's where the insecurity and stuff starts to
Turning
grow.
a snowball into an avalanche.
Exactly. It's just like a
Yes.
cancer. And you know, the one thing I don't lie. Don't lie. Do not lie. I don't care who you are, what you are to me. The worst thing you can do is lie to me.
Mhm.
And then I find out otherwise. Right?
I was blatant. We had that conversation. She said, "Well, are you in the porn?" I was like, "Am I?" Matter of fact,
Okay, well,
Oh my God.
I got, yep, this is my duffel bag of porn right here. So just so you know, I got various VHS tapes and DVDs. So just, you know, yes, I do go to strip clubs
oh my
weekly to
God.
bi-weekly with the boys, and there we go.
But I
Knew ahead
like
of
that
time.
because she knew what she was dealing with, right? So it was up to her, it was up to D whether she's gonna say I accept that or I don't accept it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I said.
What she
I
said?
said nasty, that's rude. But then, and I wasn't a big porn fan. I probably only seen one porn in my whole entire life till I got with him. And then I said, oh, that's what it's getting for. Ah,
Mhm.
that's how that happened.
Hey, yeah, you can. Hey,
That's how
that's
that
the
happened.
training manual.
This show is totally taking a turn.
Yeah, have your ass like shit,
Okay.
and fucking and shit and legs and all kinds of.
Oh
shit.
my God.
Hey man,
Okay.
But
hey,
what I do is this. I think that if in a relationship, married or not, if the partner was, you never caught the person hand in the cookie jar, if you never caught them, you know, looking at the phone and cheating or doing those types of things, and he says he wants to go, the bills are paid, and you go, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think, because when you come home, it's a whole lot of happening after that. He's excited, he come home, you excited, and you know, stuff happens. But
Right.
if he come home and nothing happens, I mean,
suspect.
there's a question, but I
Right.
don't think
She said there's a
I
question.
think it'd be a win-win for both parties.
You should come home from that strip club like shit should just be
Wake up.
knocking on the first. You should go in, take a shower, and then it's feminine. It should just be.
Okay.
With her head through the bed railing, trying to get out that room.
Mm-hmm.
Something needs to
It's on. Yep.
Oh, we gotta have Nick on a show one night, so I'm not just
Yes.
hearing her voice. But I think it was a good. I think it was.
We're gonna come out there. We need to come out there one night and do a show from down there.
Absolutely. Yep. More than welcome to.
Yes.
I definitely think it was a good question, and I don't know if we answered or we had enough answers for why men don't marry. But then you have men that do marry, and I don't necessarily say why they don't marry. Maybe it's more so why do it take them so long to get married? You know.
I think fear of commitment.
Right. Well, we was just talking about that, and I, you know, my thing was, is it fear of commitment or is it more fear of divorce? Right, because that's the other side. That's the other side of commitment is the divorce. You know, so yeah, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot. Marriage is serious and it shouldn't be taken lightly. And I think instead of just jumping into a marriage, you know, you really need to make sure that this is the person for you, that you genuinely like that person. You have so many people that are in love with each other, but they don't like each other.
That may be damn near the most important thing of all. So that's what I was trying to say when I was talking about, like, why did you guys click? We like each other. That like shit, that's so undervalued. People don't understand how relevant that shit is. You can love all you want, but if you don't like each other, that shit's gonna be a wrap eventually. You better like each other. I can't overstate how important that shit is.
Yeah.
I just can't. You better like each other first.
Yeah, it is. It's very important. You got to be friends.
Yeah.
You got to be
Mhm.
friends. I
Yeah.
want to be able to feel like I'm
Yeah.
hanging out with my friend, not that
Yeah.
it's all just husband, but it's, not saying not to devalue being a husband, but like I want to be able to feel like you're my friend. Like we should be best friends. I shouldn't be your only best friend, but we should be best friends.
Yeah.
Remember we had that conversation on
Yeah.
another show. Can you make me your best friend?
Yeah.
But you want to be able to have fun with each other, and I can't say the word enough. Transparency is just so important.
Mhm.
So important.
Yeah.
We got some comments coming in. Yes, my man, to you, Carl. And yes, sir. So you got some love out there on social media. Anything else before we wrap up? I do have an announcement to make, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it tonight or if I'm gonna wait till tomorrow night show or what. Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
Yeah. Well, you doing a tease thing here. Well,
I'm doing a
you
tease thing.
can shovel the papers too, like.
I guess I know, right? I didn't mean to pick up that notebook because this paper it's like scribble scrabble all over the place. Yeah. So the one question I had was, why am I doing a rebirth back to back this weekend? And it's just part of my birthday. It's my birthday celebration. And I just wanted to be a rebirth weekend. And then the other thing, we have been coming to you like not enough. It's just before I had started the rebirth back in 2016, and I was on the Hottest Live radio, and we were coming on every Tuesday night on the radio, and did that for a couple years, and then eventually that the studio went away, the radio station went away, and I wanted to continue doing the rebirth because that's my baby. So I've been just taking it in my own hands and doing it along with everything else that I do. It's been hard to be on consistently. So now I just announced, my announcement is the rebirth will be coming to you on Philly Jams 95.3.
Oh my God.
Every Monday night from 7.
Oh shit.
So I have a new home and I'm excited about it. And yes, baby.
So when are we
So
supposed to start this? Lord, sign me up.
It's on
Hell
the
yeah,
top.
that's what's up.
Yep. So I'm excited. So when y'all do come down, we'll be in the studio.
Yes.
Like the good old days.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I have a few things that I'm doing right now, a couple trips I need to complete, but it will be October. I will give the exact date when you will expect us live on air. October. Yeah. So so thank you.
Oh,
Carl,
shit.
as always, thank you so much for coming through. I love chopping it up with you and having a conversation with you. I love getting the male perspective. I'm not sure what happened to Stan, but shout out to you, Stan. I hope all is well. Maybe you can jump on tomorrow night because we will be live again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. with the one and only Eli and also the beautiful Jen and myself.
I'm trying to sign me up. I'm with it.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. Okay, all right, because that's gonna be a conversation. Tomorrow night's topic is changing partners instead of changing yourself.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. The tea.
Damn. Shit about to get real, son.
It's about to get real. So we're having Eli and Carl together.
It's gonna be a holler.
To the viewers, make sure you are ear friendly because you might hear a lot of different things coming out.
Yeah, it might be a whole lot of stuff just flying. It's gonna be a lot of off the cuff stuff. Wow.
Yes. So I'm excited about that. Anything else you wanna?
No, I mean, I think we kind of hit upon like so many different important topics. And it's not to say that men like or dissuade, people into to kind of make people think that men don't want to get married at all. I think there are men that are out there that do want to get married, but I mean, there's so many different dynamics and pieces to it. So if it's anything that people take away from this message, it's not so personal as it may feel. That there's a lot of kind of moving pieces that we kind of hinted and talked about as it relates to marriage. On both.
Absolutely. What about you, Carl?
Yeah.
Any last minute words?
I'll say, yeah, like everyone's got a, let me start again. I've had a lot of, actually male and females, inbox me, text me, call me in relationships and ask me about marriage. Like I'm some kind of guru, and like I'm stumbling along just like everybody the hell else. But they were just like, if you had any advice to give before, should I marry a person? I'm like, I can't answer that for you, but the advice I will give is just be sure. And that's kind of a blanket statement, but just be sure. Like you got to really sit down and chew the fat to the bone. Absolutely. And think, is this the rest of your life? I said, just think about that. The rest of your life, your natural born life, you're going to be with this person. Now, if that doesn't frighten you or whatever, you're cool with it, then rock on. If you're hesitant, then take it slow. But I always just tell anybody that asks, most of the time, I just end up with just be sure. You just better be sure before you start scheduling and visits and eating little slivers of cake and sitting around in weddings hungry as hell because everyone else, you haven't eaten in like 10 hours and you had the wedding salty because you want to eat and drink and all that shit and you get a shit. And then the sink is overflowing and the baby screaming and all that shit. You just best be sure.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of challenging times. It's going to be a lot of great times. So anybody that's thinking of taking the plunge, be sure. Anybody that's already in marriage, enough respect to y'all. And I guess take it one day at a time like all the rest of us.
What about people that have been married before and maybe might be looking to do it again? Like their second marriage or their third or fourth. No, but their second.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't number 4, I mean, you in Kardashian numbers and shit. You really want to go that route again, maybe you should just stay single. I mean, I always said, God forbid, if I got divorced tomorrow, that's it for my ass. I'm not getting married again. But who the hell knows when love is gonna come out and kick you in the throat? So you never know. I am my wife's second husband. Yeah, the throat punch, man. That shit stops you in your tracks. This is my wife's second marriage, so she wasn't looking to get married. She was single, and then we met and shit clicked. But my thing, like I said, if people divorced and if you meet somebody and you're kicking it and marriage is on your brain, who am I to say don't do it? If you think it's gonna work, once again, be sure. Be damn sure. That's all.
All right, that's what's up. That is a good one. That's a good one. Before we end, I want to definitely thank our listeners, our viewers. Thank you, Levante, for watching. Eileen, which is my mom. Thank you for watching. Stephanie, thank you. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, babe. And Miss Latoya Coates, thank you. I see you. Thank you for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And we will be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. with myself, Jen, Carl, Rochelle Arthur. She will be joining us from New Jersey. Yes. And Eli. Yeah. How could I forget Eli? And we will be talking about changing partners instead of changing yourself. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, do you know somebody that has dated several different people and just can't seem to get it right? They might change partners, but they don't change themselves or their behaviors. So remember, whatever you are doing in those relationships, and if you're not resolving it, you're taking it into your next relationship. So maybe it's not them, boo. Maybe it's you. Thank you for joining us. This is The Rebirth. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.
Peace.